With President Uhuru Kenyatta having directed that all schools should reopen in January 2021 as the country continues to battle the COVID-19 pandemic, our reporter Tsaza Munga had a one-on-one with an education expert on whether or not schools should reopen and if the country is prepared enough.
So thank you for joining us. My name is Tsaza Munga and today I'm with Mr. Boaz Waruku here with me. We shall discuss matters education. So thank you for joining us, sir.
Public policy specialist with a bias to education because currently I do coordinate education policy matters across the continent of Africa on behalf of the Global Movement for Education.
Mr. Boaz, do you think the government is making a rash decision in terms of reopening the school come January?
In terms of saying or assessing whether it is rushed or not rushed, I'd be hesitant to give a verdict, but I would start from what should have been done first, so that then we can validly say we are ready or not. So having said that, it then would be important to look at what are the key stakeholders doing, what they should have done to contain the situation. The leadership of the education sector, you start with the ministry of the cabinet secretary in charge of education, is a policy head, and with the technical head, that is the principal secretary. Those two persons responsible should be coordinating in a way that even other ministries are supposed to come in to help and support all those actions which are required to be undertaken by the education ministry.
So do you think the government has done enough when it comes to curbing the spread of COVID-19 in schools?
The issue of looking at how do we program ourselves to be compliant with the COVID-19 regulations, social distancing, washing of hands, just ensuring that we are not shaking hands and things like that. How do you ensure that facilities in schools are set up for this kind of thing? So you'd be expecting, for instance, that in liaison with the Ministry of Water and Irrigation, then issues of water supply to the schools are really being revamped, because we know how the coordination of education is done. So at the zonal level, the very lowest level that then would require at least to have a presence of an infrastructure supporting health, counseling and all that. At least you have a team of these nurses and even counselors who would be able to move around schools to be able to deal with this.
So when it comes to the issue of school fees, how should it be dealt with?
Many parents and households have mentioned that were hit hard. And when they were hit so badly, what do you do? How do you arrange yourselves to deal with this situation right now? Among other things, they've shortened this term. I would think that you should prorate the fee payment to the equivalent of the term. Why? Because most of the payment that are being made are in respect to boarding facilities. So you require to do that. I don't know what analysis they've done. They may ask you that now they are incurring even more cost on that, but at least they should prorate the fee.
And finally, on the issue of the school calendar, do you think it's going to work?
Yes, I've seen the school calendar, and because the projection I've seen is up to 2023. That projection tells you that you'll be eating slowly and surely waxing back, so that we get back to our normal regular school calendar of term 1 starting January to April, and then May to August, and then September to November. And that they are projecting that could resume by 2023. From what the last time Professor Magoha released. I know that we require to keep reviewing this because practically that would be the best way to deal with it.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Boaz. Well, that has been Mr. Boaz Waruku talking to us on matters education. Thank you for joining me. My name is Saza Munga.